Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're having a good day today. We're going to be in Life of Fred Edgewood. If you have an Edgewood book, go ahead and get your book out now. Remember, you can press pause at any time during this video. Today, we're going to be on page 49, chapter 7, and the title is Reading on the Bus. Fred giggled. He was thinking of what a bar graph would look like if it showed the jelly beans, donuts, cans of slushie, and candy bars that he had eaten on his trip to Edgewood. It would be a bar graph with no bars. Fred thought that was funny. Then Fred changed the categories. Fred pulled out another of the dozen books that he had brought. It was an introduction to mathematics by Stephen Cole Clean. It begins 2 successive eras of investigations of the foundations of mathematics in the 19th century, culminating in the theory of sets and the arithmetization of analysis. Fred was excited. He had always wanted to learn about mathematics, and here was his chance to read it uninterrupted. Someone tapped Fred on his knee. It was a little girl about 2 years old. She was almost as tall as Fred. She said, "Read me." Translation, "Please read this book to me." She continued, "My mommy's asleep, so you read to me." Fred put his mathematics book into his backpack. He held out his hand, expecting her to hand him a book. Instead, she hopped onto his lap and nearly crushed him. The thought of his being like Santa Claus passed through his mind, except that he was too small to be Santa Claus and have kids sit on his lap. He couldn't see anything. Her hair covered his face. He asked her to sit down beside him on the bus seat so that we can both see the book. She took a book out of her pocket and handed it to him. Math Poems for Kids. It was a very small book. It looked like she had carried it in her pocket for a long time. Fred wondered how you could turn math into poetry for children. He opened the book and began reading. 6 plus 5 equals 11. Bread is made of flour and leaven. 6 plus 5 is now 11. 7 plus 6 equals 13. My plate was full and now is clean. So 7 and 6 will add to 13. 9 plus 8 equals 17. John of Patmos and heaven seen. And now I know 9 and 8 are 17. 8 plus 7 does not equal 15 trillion. Government accounting can be thrilling, but 8 plus 7 ain't 15 trillion. The girl pointed to each of the pictures when Fred read the poems. He wondered how much she understood. He asked her, "How do you make bread out of flour and leaven?" She told him, "Mommies do that. They take 11 flours and stir it in a bowl." She didn't know that leaven is yeast or baking powder that makes the dough rise by adding little bubbles. Without leaven, bread would not be fluffy. It would be more like crackers. Fred decided to play a game with her. He said, "Let's see who can name the biggest number." She smiled and said, "You go first." Fred looked at the last page in her 4-page book of poetry and said, 15 trillion. She said, 15 trillion 2. I win. 15 trillion 2 is greater than 15 trillion. Okay, are you ready for your turn to play? Go ahead and grab a sheet of paper and a pencil. Remember, you can press pause at any time. Let's begin. Number 1. A couplet is 2 lines of poetry that rhyme. Bread is made of flour and leaven. 6 plus 5 is now 11. There are some words in English that you can't find a rhyme for. Orange and silver are 2 examples. If you start a couplet with "Once upon a time I ate an orange," you won't be able to find a second line. Finish these couplets. I asked him, "Please do not tell me more." When Fred said 2 plus 2 is... Narrow is the way, and the gate is strait, And some can say that 3 plus 5 is... Okay, here are your answers. Go ahead and check your work. Now, are you ready for today's homeschooling meme? Here you go. I hope you enjoyed that one. Join me here tomorrow for Chapter 8. Bye for now.